Hello, my name is Laura Burkhardt, and welcome to the San Francisco Bay Club. I am here with Antonio and with Patsy and with Tony, and we are here to provide you with a very invigorating practice. So before we get started, if you know you have a little bit tighter hips, tighter hamstrings, make sure you grab a block or two. And we'll also have some modifications throughout the practice. So if something seems a little too wild and crazy, there will be some modifications, okay? So we're gonna start in a simple cross-legged position. You're gonna bring your hands to your thighs and go ahead and close your eyes. So allow your sit bones to sink down into your mat. As your sit bones sink down, lift up out of both sides of your waist. So reach the crown of the head up toward the ceiling and allow your shoulders to relax away from your ears. And to start by noticing your breath, just watching your natural inhalations. You'll watch the natural exhalations as they move in and out of the body through your nose. Just watching the cool air as it comes into the body through the nose. Watching the warm air as it exits the body through the nose. And keeping your eyes closed, take your left hand to your heart. And take the right hand to your lower belly, below the belly button. When you inhale, you're going to take a deep inhale all the way down to the lower belly, just really expanding the front, the back, the sides of your waist. Hold your breath here. Open up your mouth and exhale. Again, deep inhale. Hold your breath. Open up the mouth, exhale. Again, deep inhalation. Hold your breath. Keeping your mouth closed, exhale from your chest all the way down to the lower belly. Begin to open up the eyes. When you inhale, you're going to take your arms toward the ceiling. Just allow the shoulders to relax away from your ears. Exhale, bring your fingertips back down to the side. Same thing, inhale, take the arms up, allow the shoulders to relax away from the ears. Exhale, fingertips come back down to the side. One more time, inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, bring the fingertips back down to the side. Excellent. You're going to make your way out onto your hands and your knees, just bringing your knees underneath your hips. Allow your wrists to come underneath the shoulders, and beginning with your sit bones. When you inhale, lift the sit bones toward the ceiling, lift your chest up, head is going to lift up. Exhale, tuck your tailbone, hug your ribs in, just release your head, release your neck. Inhale, lift the sit bones, lift your chest up, lift the head up. Exhale, tuck your tailbone, rounding your spine, release the head and the neck. Inhale, everything curls up, cow. Exhale, hug the ribs in, just pressing into a cat. Make your way into a neutral spine. Toes are going to tuck under. Just lift the pelvis up, pressing back into downward facing dog. So I'm going to start off by pedaling out the legs here a little bit in down dog. Just go ahead and bend one knee. Bend the opposite knee. Just go ahead and press through one heel. I'm going to press through the opposite heel. And go ahead and press both heels down toward the floor. Spread the fingers wide. Lift your pelvis up high. And then inhale, rock forward to plank. Shoulders come over your wrists. Exhale, guide your hips back. Downward facing dog. Same thing, inhale, rock forward. Shoulders over your wrists. Exhale, move your hips back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, rock forward to plank. Pause here, press back with the heels, press the hands deep into the mat. As you pull the shoulder blades away from one another, reach the heart and the chest forward. Lower your knees, lower your chest down onto the mat. Hug the elbows in. Inhale, come toward Cobra Pose, keeping the back of your neck long. Exhale, bring your chest back down. Inhale, make your way to your knees. Toes are going to tuck under. Exhale, pelvis lifts up, pressing back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts up toward the ceiling. Exhale, bend the right knee, open up the right hip. Inhale here, lengthen through both sides of the waist. Then exhale, curl your right knee in toward your nose, rounding your spine, bringing your shoulders over your wrists. Inhale, take the right leg back up, press through the left heel. Exhale, right knee curls in toward the nose, shoulders come over the wrists. Same thing, inhale, take the right leg back up. Exhale, curl the right knee in toward the nose. Pause here, plant the hands deep into the mat. Really pull your lower belly in and up. Separate the shoulder blades away from one another. Inhale, three-legged dog. Right leg lifts back up toward the ceiling. Exhale, right foot steps forward. Left knee comes down to the mat. Low lunge. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. So allow the shoulders to relax away from the ears. Exhale, take the hands to your lower back. Interlace the fingers at the lower back. Inhale, lift the chest up high. Just keeping your eyes soft. Allow your facial muscles to be relaxed. And keep your breath smooth and even. Allowing the breath to travel all the way down toward your lower belly. If it bothers your left knee, if you have a blanket, you can pad the left knee with a blanket or flip over the left side of your mat. Bring both hands down to either side of the front foot, straighten your left leg, and then step back, downward facing dog. From dog pose, inhale, rock forward to plank. Exhale, lower all the way down onto your stomach. Inhale, back to cobra pose, keeping the elbows hugged in. Exhale, bring your chest back down. Take your fingertips 1 inch forward. Inhale, lift up a little higher. Back of the neck stays long. Exhale, chest comes back down. Take your fingertips 1 inch forward. Inhale, lift up a touch higher. Exhale, bring your chest back down. Slide the fingertips back in line with the chest. Inhale to the knees, toes tuck under. Exhale, hips move back, downward facing dog. Inhale, take the left leg, reach it up toward the ceiling. And exhale, left knee bends, open up your left hip. Inhale here, lengthen through your waist. Exhale, curl your left knee in toward your nose, rounding your spine. Bring the shoulders over the wrists. Inhale, take the left leg back up, press through the right heel. Exhale, curl the left knee in toward the nose, round your spine. Again, inhale, take the left leg, reach it back up. Exhale, curl the left knee in toward the nose. Pause here, plant the hands, separate the shoulder blades away from one another, and take your nose a little closer toward your left knee. Inhale, three-legged dog, left leg lifts back up. Exhale, left foot steps forward, right shin comes down to the mat. Low lunge, inhale, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, fingers are going to interlace at your lower back. Inhale, lift the spine up tall. Just keeping your eyes soft, keeping your facial muscles relaxed. Allow your breath to be smooth. Allow your breath to be deep. Eyes are soft. Left heel is pressing down. Both sides of the waist are lifting up. Bring both hands down to either side of the front foot. Step back, downward facing dog. From dog pose, inhale, rock forward, plank position. Stay here, or when you exhale, just hover halfway down, coming toward chaturanga. Inhale, back to plank position. Exhale, downward facing dog. Same thing. Inhale, rock forward to plank position. Stay here, lean forward. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, back to plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Again, inhale, rock forward to plank position. Exhale, stay here, lower halfway down. It's coming toward chaturanga. Keep the elbows hugging in, keep the heart reaching forward. Crown of the head is reaching forward. And then lower all the way down onto your stomach. You're going to take your fingertips to either side of your mat. Lift the palms up away from the mat. When you inhale, you can lift your right shoulder up toward the ceiling. Take your gaze over the right shoulder. Press your left shoulder down. Exhale, come back to center. Inhale, lift the left shoulder up. Press the right shoulder down. Exhale, come back to center. Press the fingertips into the mat. Inhale, roll both shoulder blades down the back. Reach the heart and the chest forward. Exhale, bring your chest back down. Take the fingertips in line with the chest. Hug your elbows in. Then inhale, come into cobra or lift up upward facing dog, either one. Exhale, make your way back, downward facing dog. Wonderful. From dog pose, inhale, knees are gonna bend, take your gaze forward. Exhale, walk or jump your way to the top of the mat. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, heart reaches forward. Exhale, forward fold, just relax your head and your neck. Inhale, come all the way up, take your arms toward the ceiling, allow the shoulders to relax away from the ears. Exhale, forward fold, hands to shins or fingertips come aligned with the toes. Inhale, spine lengthens, reach the heart forward. Exhale, step your right foot back, bring your right shin down to the mat. Low lunge, inhale, take the arms toward the ceiling, shoulders relax away from the ears. Exhale, hands to the mat, step back, downward facing dog. Hang out here if you like, or inhale, rock forward plank position. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, lift the chest, upward facing dog. Exhale, hips move back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts, press through the left heel. Exhale, right foot forward, left knee comes down to the mat. Low lunge, inhale, take the arms toward the ceiling. Exhale, hands to the mat, left foot steps forward to meet the right foot. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up, take your arms toward the ceiling, shoulders relax away from the ears. Exhale, forward fold again. Inhale, lengthen through the waist. Exhale, left foot back, left knee comes down to the mat. Low lunge, inhale, arms reach toward the ceiling. Exhale, hands to the mat, step back, downward facing dog. Stay here, inhale, rock forward plank position. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, lift the heart, upward facing dog. Exhale, guide your hips back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts, press through the right heel. Exhale, left foot forward, right knee comes down to the mat. Low lunge, inhale, arms reach toward the ceiling. Exhale, hands to the mat, take the right foot, step it forward to meet the left foot. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Take your arms toward the ceiling, shoulders relax away from the ears. Exhale, forward fold again. Inhale, lengthen through the waist. Exhale, either down dog or step or jump back, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra pose. Exhale, guide your hips back, downward facing dog. Let's pause here, spread the fingers wide. Let's take a deep inhale all the way down to the lower belly. Open up the mouth and exhale. Again, deep inhale to the pit of the belly. Open up the mouth and exhale. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, walk or jump your way to the top of the mat. Inhale, spine lengthens. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Take your arms up toward the ceiling. This time when you exhale, bring your hands to prayer at the heart. Feet step in, big toes touch. Inhale, bend the knees, drop your sit bones, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold, straightening your legs. Inhale, lengthen through the waist. Exhale, either down dog or step or hop back, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra, stay right there in down dog. Exhale, hips move back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts, press through the left heel. Exhale, right foot steps forward, high lunge on the right side. Inhale, press through the left heel, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, hands to the mat, either down dog or step into plank, lower chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra pose. Exhale, hips move back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts, right heel presses down. Exhale, left foot steps forward, high lunge on the left side. Inhale, reach the arms up toward the ceiling. Exhale, hands to the mat, either down dog or step into plank, lower chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, hips move back, downward facing dog. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, walk or jump your way to the top of the mat. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Feet are going to be hip distance apart. Inhale, knees bend, drop the sit bones, Utkatasana. Take the arms up toward the ceiling. Pause here, take your left ankle on top of the right knee like you're sitting in a chair. Left ankle on top of the right knee. Flex your left foot. Reach the sit bones back toward the back wall as you reach your fingertips forward, starting in an opening in your left hip. So left ankle on top of the right knee. Left knee is pressing down. Fingertips reach forward. Sit bones reach back toward the back wall. Just keeping your eyes off, keeping your gaze forward. Arms reach overhead, left knee curls in. Step your left foot back, warrior one pose on the right side. Exhale, open it up, Virabhadrasana 2. Arms go out to a T position. Inhale, reverse it, left hand slides down the left leg. Open up the right side of your body. Exhale, bring both hands to either side of the right foot. Three-legged dog. Inhale, right leg lifts back up toward the ceiling, press through the left heel. Exhale, curl the right knee in toward your nose, rounding your spine, shoulders come over your wrists. Inhale, take the right leg, reach it back up. Exhale, right knee goes to the right upper arm, squeeze the right side of your body. Inhale, take the right leg, lift it back up. Exhale, tuck the right knee under toward the left upper arm and shoot the right leg toward the left side of the mat. Roll to the inside of the left foot and reach your left arm up and overhead. Opening up the left side of the body, keeping your left hip lifting up high, reaching through the fingertips. Bring your left hand down, curl the right knee in, three-legged dog, right leg reaches up toward the ceiling. Exhale, right foot steps forward, back to a high lunge. Inhale, take the arms overhead. When you exhale, hover your torso over the right thigh. Reach the arms out in front of you. Sweep the arms back toward the back wall. Shift the weight forward, coming toward Virabhadrasana 3. Lift the left toes up. Keep the hips square, dropping your left outer hip. Lift the left inner thigh up. And then stay there. You may reach the fingertips forward out in front of you just to make it a little more challenging. Otherwise, keep the fingertips reaching back toward the back wall. Just keeping that left hip dropping down. Keeping the left inner thigh lifted up. Step back to a high lunge. Inhale here. Reach for the fingers. Press back with your left heel. When you exhale, you're going to bend your left knee. Bend the elbows. Lift the heart up. So inhale, arms and legs straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Again. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Pause here. You're going to take your peace fingers, hook onto these little hip points out in front of you, lift the hip points up toward the ceiling, lift up out of both sides of the waist, keep the pelvis right where it's at, and then you might start to straighten your back leg, pressing back with the left heel, keeping your left inner thigh lifted up. Take the hands behind you, interlace the fingers at the lower back, lift up out of both sides of the waist. If you want to modify, you want to make it a little bit more stable, then you might drop the left shin down onto the mat. Otherwise, keep the left inner thigh lifting up. Both sides of the waist are long. Eyes are soft. Right shin is pressing forward. Left heel is reaching back. Take your right hand, slide it down the back of the left leg. Reach the left arm forward and back toward the back wall. Open up the left side of the body from your left ankle all the way up toward your left fingertips. Reach both arms back overhead up toward the ceiling. Bend your left knee, sink your left shin all the way down onto the mat. And take your right hand, catch a hold of your left wrist and reach your left arm overhead. So left arm is reaching over toward the right. Turn your chest slightly over to the left and then stay here. You might take your right hand to a block or to the floor to the right side of your mat. So right fingertips may come to the floor, right hand may come to a block. And you're going to get as much length as you can from your left knee all the way up towards your left fingertips. You can also just keep holding onto your left wrist. You can also take your right fingertips all the way down toward the floor. So just working with your body. Whatever you're doing, just getting a nice stretch from the left knee all the way up toward the left fingertips. Really starting to open up your left hip flexor and the left side of the body. Bring your left hand back down to the mat. Both hands will come down. Straighten your left leg. So left leg is going to straighten, and then right knee stays bent, left leg will be straight, left hand will stay to the block or to the floor, reach the right arm up toward the ceiling, easy twist, keep reaching back with the left heel, left side of the waist is going to be long. Just allow your eyes to be soft, just keeping your breath smooth and deep. Bring your right hand down. You're going to ground your back foot at a 45-degree angle and line up your right heel and your left instep. So in the same line, we look down, right heel lines up with the left instep. Windmill the arms up, coming into Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2 pose. Tuck your right sit bone under just a little bit. You're pressing it forward as you press your right thigh, your right knee back toward your right outer ankle. Just lift up out of both sides of the waist and create as much length as you can from your wrists and your fingertips while allowing your shoulders to relax away from the ears. Left thigh is firm. Outside the left leg is reaching back toward the back wall. Reverse it, sliding your left hand down the left leg. Open up the right side of the body. Just keep lifting up out of both sides of the waist. Bring your arms back to a T position and start to straighten your right leg, coming toward triangle pose, Trikonasana. Right arm's going to reach forward. And take your right hand down to a block the shin, the mat. Take the left arm up toward the ceiling. So allow the shoulders to relax away from the ears. And really allow your right shoulder to move away from your right ear. So really pulling your right shoulder down the back. So the right shoulder blade is moving down the back. So your right bicep starts to point toward the top of the mat. And just get as much distance as you can from your right fingertips, your right hand all the way up toward your left fingertips. Just pressing the left heel deep into the mat and press the ball, the right foot deep into the mat. And as you do that, pull your right hip crease back toward the back wall, firm your left thigh. Just keeping both sides of the waist long, crown of the head is reaching forward. Bring your left hand to your left hip. Bend the right knee, shift the weight forward, coming toward Halfmoon Pose. Stack the left hip on top of the right hip. Flex the left foot, reaching back with the left heel. Stay there, reach the left arm up toward the ceiling. Stay there, bend your left knee, catch a hold of your left foot or your left ankle, and press your left shin back toward, in this case, the windows behind you. Otherwise, you might just expand through the limbs, getting as much distance as you can from the crown of the head all the way back toward your left heel, and as much length and distance as you can from the right fingertips all the way up toward your left fingertips. Right knee bends, come into Warrior 2. Take the arms out to a T position. Reverse it, slide the left hand down the left leg, open up the right side of the body. Exhale, bring both hands down to either side of the front foot. Either go to down dog or come into plank, lower chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra pose. Exhale, hips move back, downward facing dog. Inhale, knees bend, look forward. Exhale, walk or jump your way to the top of the mat. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, crown the head reaches forward. Then exhale, forward fold, just relax your head, relax the neck. Feet are going to be hip distance. Inhale, bend your knees, lower your sit bones, Utkatasana. Arms reach up toward the ceiling. Take your right ankle on top of the left knee. You're going to flex the right foot. Just sink the sit bones down. Reach the sit bones back toward the wall behind you. Keep both sides of the waist reaching forward. Arms are reaching out in front of you. And keep pressing your right knee down toward the mat. Right foot stays flexed, so you get a nice opening in your right hip. Starting to open up that space. Arms reach overhead. Curl the right knee in toward your chest. Step the right foot back. Warrior 1 pose on the left side. Exhale, open it up, Warrior 2 pose, arms reach to a T position. Reverse it, slide the right hand down the right leg, open up the left side of your body. Exhale, bring both hands down to either side of the front foot. Three-legged dog, inhale, take your left leg, reach it up toward the ceiling. Exhale, curl the left knee in toward your nose, round your spine. Inhale, take the left leg, reach it back up. Press through the right heel. Exhale, left knee goes toward the left armpit. Squeeze the left side of the body. Inhale, take the left leg, lift it back up. Exhale, tuck the left knee under toward the right upper arm, and then shoot the left leg under toward the right side of the mat. Roll to the inside of the right foot. Reach the right arm up and overhead, opening up the right side of the body. Right hand comes down, left knee curls in, three-legged dog, left leg lifts back up toward the ceiling. Exhale, left foot forward, high lunge on the left side. Inhale, take the arms, reach them up toward the ceiling. Exhale, hover your torso over your left thigh. Sweep the arms behind you. Reach the heart forward. Shift the weight forward. Virabhadrasana 2. Virabhadrasana 3. Warrior 3 pose. Stay there. You may reach the arms out in front of you. So you might drop the right outer hip. Lift the right inner thigh up. Reach back with the right heel. You might reach the fingertips out in front of you just to make it a little more challenging. If that's too much, you could always reach the fingertips back behind you. You can always bring your hands down to blocks or down toward the floor. Step back, high lunge. Inhale, take the arms, reach them overhead up toward the ceiling. When you exhale, bend your right knee, hover the right shin, bend the elbows, and lift your chest up toward the ceiling. Inhale, reach for the arms, reach for the legs. Exhale, bend. Bend the elbows, bend the knees, lift the heart up. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Again, inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Pause here. Take your peace fingers, hook onto these little hip points out in front of you, and then lift the hip points up. Press your right thigh forward. Lift up out of both sides of the waist. Keep the pelvis right where it's at. Right thigh for a moment still keeps reaching forward. And take the arms, reach them overhead up toward the ceiling. You might start to straighten the right leg, pressing back with the right heel. You might also bring the right shin down onto the mat. Take the hands behind you toward your lower back, interlace the fingers, lift up out of both sides of the waist. Eyes stay soft, breath stays smooth. Facial muscles are relaxed. Your brain is also relaxed. Your brain is nice and soft. And so keep the breath nice and deep going toward the pelvis. And take your left hand behind you, slide it down the back of your right leg, and reach the right arm forward and reach it back toward the back wall, creating length from the right ankle all the way up toward the right fingertips, opening up the right side of the body. And take the arms, reach them both back overhead up toward the ceiling. Very slowly sink your right shin all the way down onto the mat. And take your left hand, catch a hold of your right wrist. And take the right arm, reach it overhead to the left. Roll the lower belly and the chest over to the right. Hang out here, or take your left hand to a block or to the floor to the left side of your mat. And get as much length as you can from your right knee all the way up toward your right fingertips. It's really a nice opening through the right side of the body. You might feel it in your right hip flexor. You'll definitely feel it through the right side of your waist. Bring your right hand down to a block or to the floor. Both hands will come down. Straighten your right leg, and then take the left arm up toward the ceiling. Easy twist. And crown the head reaches forward. Just keeping your left inner thigh lifted up. Left side of the waist is going to be long. Bring your left hand down, ground the back foot at a 45-degree angle, lining up your left heel and your right instep. Windmill the arms up, Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2 pose. Just pausing here, allow the shoulders to relax away from the ears. Just keeping your right thigh firm, creating length from your fingertips, from one set of fingers all the way to the other set. So left fingers all the way back toward the right fingers. Keeping the right thigh firm, pressing your left sit bone forward, pulling your left thigh back. And then start to straighten your left leg. Take the left arm, reach it forward, Trikonasana. Left hand comes down to a block, the shin, the mat. And take the right arm, reach it up toward the ceiling. And turn the inside of the left arm forward so the left shoulder goes down the back. And get as much length as you can from the left hand all the way up toward the right fingertips. And press the right heel deep into the mat. Press the ball of the left foot into the mat. Pull the left hip crease, move it back toward the back while firming your right thigh, keeping both sides of the waist long, especially the left side of the waist that tends to get scrunched. You keep that side of the waist long. Bring your right hand to your right hip, bend the left knee, shift the weight forward, Halfmoon Pose. Stack the right hip on top of the left hip. Flex the right foot, reaching back with the right heel. You might stay there. If you want to bend your right knee and catch a hold of your right foot or your right ankle, you can. Otherwise, expand through all of your limbs. So just whatever you did on the first side, same thing will happen on the second side, just keeping everything even. Either option, equally fantastic. You can also, if you want just to keep your right hand to your right hip, that's another great option, especially if you have tighter shoulders or if you're still trying to work on the balance a little bit. Bend your left knee, warrior two. Take the arms out to a T position. Reverse it, slide the right hand down the right leg, open up the left side of your body. Exhale, bring both hands down to either side of the front foot. Come into plank position, lower chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra pose. Exhale, guide your hips back, downward facing dog. Inhale, knees bend, look forward. Exhale, walk or jump your way to the top of the mat. Inhale, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, forward fold. Step the feet in. Big toes are going to touch. Inhale, bend your knees, lower your sit bones, Utkatasana. Taking the arms up toward the ceiling. And take your arms, reach them forward. Sink your sit bones down to the mat, coming toward Navasana boat pose. Catch a hold of the backs of your thighs. Lift the spine up tall. You may stay there. You may reach the fingertips forward. You might straighten the legs, pressing through the heels. Eyes are going to be soft, just keeping your breath smooth, just keeping your breath deep. Bring your feet down and then take the hands back behind you. Reverse tabletop, lift the pelvis up. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. Pelvis lifts up. And you can either relax your head and your neck. If that's too much on the neck, just take your gaze toward your knees. Bring your pelvis back down. Back to boat pose. Pull the thighs in toward your chest. Lift up through the waist. Fingertips may reach forward. You might extend through the legs, pressing through the heels. Lower halfway down. Bring your back onto the floor. Take your legs up toward the ceiling. Reach the fingertips up toward the ceiling. And then bend your knees toward your nose. Separate the knees. Keep the feet together and press your palms forward like crow pose, Bakasana. Upper back is lifted up. Wonderful. Inhale, expand through the arms and the legs as if you're doing handstand on the back. Arms reach overhead. Legs reach out in front of you. Exhale, back to crow pose on the back, rounding your spine. Same thing. Inhale, reach for the arms, reach for the legs. Exhale, contract, curl everything back in. Again, inhale, expand through the arms, expand through the legs. Exhale, contract. Again, inhale, expand. Exhale, contract. Pause here. Take your legs toward a wide V. Legs go out to a wide V and start to make tiny little pulses. If it's a little too much on the back of your neck or your head at all, just take your hands behind your head making the pulses. Otherwise, reach the fingertips forward, flex the feet, reach through the heels. Just keep reaching through the legs, reach through the arms, lifting your chest up. Bring your arms and your legs together. Take the arms overhead. Legs reach up. Fingertips can reach toward your toes. So reach the fingertips up toward the ceiling. Bend your knees. Catch a hold of the backs of your thighs. And then start rocking forward and back, coming all the way back into boat pose. Balancing on your sit bones. Staying here is great. Fingertips may reach forward. You may press through the heels. Straighten the legs. Eyes are soft. bring your feet down. Take your hands behind you. Lift the pelvis up. Reverse tabletop. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. Bring your pelvis back down. Cross your shins, coming toward a simple cross-legged position. Roll forward, coming into plank, or just take your legs to the side. Make your way into plank position. Lower Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra pose. Exhale, guide your hips back, downward facing dog. Inhale, bend your knees, take your gaze forward to the top of the mat. Exhale, walk or jump your way to the top of the mat. Inhale, lengthen through the waist. And exhale, forward fold. Feet are going to separate the same distance as the mat. Turn your toes out and drop your pelvis down, coming toward Malasana, yogic squat, bringing your hands to prayer at the heart. Press your arms into your legs. Keep the sit bones sinking down as you lift up out of both sides of the waist. Crown the head lifts up. Stay here, or you're going to set up for Bakasana, crow pose. So you might step your feet in. If you're relatively new to Bakasana, you might even perch up on a block. You can even perch up on the block and slide your upper arms down your shins, hugging your knees in, reaching your chest forward. You might lift a toe, 2 toes up. You might start to lift 2 feet up. If you're regular Bakasanis, you might try to straighten your arms and try to keep your sit bones from pointing up toward the ceiling. Keep your butt low. So it kind of looks like child's pose, but on your arms. From there, either step or jump back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Excellent. Beautiful. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra pose. Exhale, guide your hips back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts up toward the ceiling. Exhale, rock forward to plank position with your right leg lifted up. So inhale, bend your right knee with the right heel pointing up toward the ceiling. And then step the right foot back behind you so you're coming toward wild thing. Step the right foot behind you, reach the right arm overhead. Open up the right side of the body. Open up the abdominal wall, especially the right side of the body. Okay, perfect. Yeah, lovely. Yes, fantastic. And just get as much length as you can through the right side of the waist. Right hand comes down, 3-legged dog. Right leg lifts up toward the ceiling. Step your right foot forward between the hands. High lunge on the right side. Inhale, arms reach overhead. Exhale, bring your hands prayer at the heart. Take your left elbow to the outside of the right knee, twisting toward, in this case, the windows. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Then exhale, open up the right shoulder. You might stay here, which is great. If you'd like to expand through the arms, you can expand. If you want to bind it up, you can bind it up. So whatever you'd like to do, great. You can also drop your left shin down onto the mat, creating a little more stability in the pose. If your back leg is straight, keep the left inner thigh lifted. Keep pressing back with the left heel. Keep the pelvis kind of having a little buoyancy in it, so you're not sinking the pelvis down toward the mat. Bring both hands down to either side of the front foot, standing split. Take the left leg, lift it up toward the ceiling. Left leg lifts. And then if you have a little more wiggle room, walk the hands back a little closer toward your left foot. If you want to elevate the floor a little bit in order to keep your right leg straight, hands can come onto blocks. You might take your right hand and catch a hold of your right ankle. If you're feeling super wild and crazy, you might take both hands and catch a hold of your right ankle. You know, if you have the wiggle room, maybe bring your nose, your forehead a little closer toward the right shin. But as much as you can, try keeping your right leg straight without hyperextending your right leg. Right knee bend, step back to Warrior One pose. Take the arms overhead, up toward the ceiling. Begin to straighten your front leg. Bring your hands to your hips. And then step your left foot forward a couple of inches. Roll the left hip point forward. Left hip's going to move forward. Keep the right hand to your right hip. Let's take the left arm, reach it up toward the ceiling. With your right fingertips, guide your right hip crease back. Keep the left arm reaching forward. And then take the left hand down to a block or to the floor. Reach the right arm up toward the ceiling. Left side of the waist is going to be long. Crown the head is reaching forward. Bring both hands down to either side of the front foot. Step the left foot forward to meet the right foot. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, forward fold, feet step in. Inhale, knees bend, drop the sit bones, Utkatasana, chair pose, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold, straightening your legs. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, reach the heart forward. Exhale, either down dog or step or hop back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra pose. Exhale, guide your hips back, downward facing dog. Inhale, take the left leg up, press through the right heel. When you exhale, just rock forward to plank position, top of a push-up. So inhale, just bend your left knee, left heel points toward the ceiling. And then exhale, step the left foot behind you, wild thing. Left arm reaches overhead, opening up the left side of the body. Reach with the left fingertips, getting as much length from the left knee all the way toward the fingertips. Reflip, left hand comes down, three-legged dog. Take the left leg up toward the ceiling, three-legged dog, left leg lifts. Step your left foot forward, high lunge on the left side. Inhale, take the arms, reach it overhead. When you exhale, bring your hand to prayer at the heart and take the right elbow to the outside of the left knee, twisting over to the left. Grow both sides of the waist long. Keep your right inner thigh lifted up. Both sides of the waist are going to be long. And then stay here, or you might start to expand through the arms. You might make your way into a bind. It's reaching both sides of the waist forward. Wonderful. Bring both hands down to either side of the front foot. Standing split. Take the right leg lifted up toward the ceiling. If you have a little more wiggle room, walk your hands back a little closer toward your left foot. Hands can be on blocks. You might take your left hand and catch a hold of your left calf muscle. You might take both hands, catch a hold of the left ankle. Hands can be on blocks. So whatever you need to do to keep your balance, keep your left leg straight, and get a nice opening in the back of your left leg. Bend the left knee, come back to Warrior One pose, ground the back foot, take the arms overhead up toward the ceiling. Start to straighten your front leg. Bring your hands to your hips. Step your right foot forward just a couple of inches and roll your right hip point forward so your hips are relatively square. Keep the left hand to your left hip. Reach the right arm up toward the ceiling. Press through the right heel as you pull your left hip crease back toward the back wall. Right arm's going to reach forward. And then take your right hand down to a block or to the floor to the inside or outside of your front foot. Pull the lower belly in and up. Open up the left shoulder and then hang out there. You may reach the left arm up toward the ceiling. Both sides of the waist are going to be long. Just keeping your eyes soft, just keeping your breath smooth, and allowing your breath to be deep. Wonderful. Bring both hands down to either side of the front foot. Step the right foot forward to meet the left foot at the top of the mat. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Feet are going to step in. So inhale, bend your knees, drop the sit bones coming toward Utkatasana, chair pose. Take your arms, reach them forward. Deja vu moment, sink your sit bones all the way down to the mat, back to Navasana. Pull your thighs in toward your chest. Stay there. You may hold on to the backs of your thighs. You might reach the fingertips forward. You might extend through the legs, pressing through the heels. Eyes are going to be soft. And then stay there. You may take the arms over to the right, lift up out of both sides of the waist. Take your arms over to the left, lift up out of both sides of the waist. Bring your arms back to center, lower halfway down. Curl your knees in toward your nose and take your arms to either side of your thighs. Lift your upper back away from the mat. Inhale, expand through the arms and legs, just like you're doing a handstand on the back. So when you exhale, contract, but take both arms to the outside of your right leg, like you're doing side crow on your back. Inhale, expand through the arms and the legs. Exhale, contract to the left. Inhale, expand. Exhale, contract to the right. Inhale, expand. Exhale, contract to the left. Again, inhale, expand. Exhale, contract to the right. Inhale, expand. Exhale, contract to the left. Inhale, expand. Then exhale, contract to the right. Pause here. Press your left arm to the outside of the right leg. Stay here if you like. You might extend the right leg up toward the ceiling. You might hover your left leg out in front of you, but keep the left arm pressing the outside of the right leg no matter what you're doing. Shoulder blades are lifted up as much as possible away from the mat. Left leg lifts up, bend both knees. Bend both knees and take the arms to the outside of your left leg. Press your right arm to the outside of the left leg. Twist a little deeper over to the left. Stay there, take your left leg up. You may extend the right leg out in front of you. Hover the right leg over the mat. Keep the right arm pressed into the outside of the left leg. His eyes are soft. Flex the feet. Press through both heels. Wonderful. Take the right leg. Reach it back up. Bend your knees. Catch all the backs of both of your thighs. Start rocking forward and back, making your way all the way back into boat pose. So balance on the sit bones, lift the spine up tall. Find a tiny back bend, fingertips may reach forward. You might extend through the legs. Bring your hands and feet down, taking the hands behind you. Feet plant onto the mat. Reverse tabletop. Lift the pelvis up. Either relax the head. If it's too much on the neck, take your gaze forward toward your knees. Wonderful. Bring your pelvis back down. Cross your shins. Roll forward, coming into plank position. Lower chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, lift the chest. Upward facing dog or cobra pose. Exhale, guide your hips back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, knees bend. Look forward. Exhale, walk or hop your way to the top of the mat. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Then exhale, forward fold. Sink your sit bones down toward the heels, keeping your feet together. So you're going to sink everything down. And you're going to take your right hand to the outside of your right thigh. Move the knees over to the left. And take your left upper arm down as low as it will go. All 10 fingers are going to point over to the right. Hands will be shoulder distance apart. So you can hang out here. This is option number 1. You can hang out here. Option number 2 is you can plant the hands, create chaturanga arms. And at first you might start to use your right upper arm, resting your right hip on the right upper arm and taking your legs up away from the mat. Or you might start to practice taking a foot up, 2 toes up, whatever. If you're regular side crow posers, you might have all 10 fingers pointing forward, and you might just use your right upper. You might just use your right outer thigh to your left upper arm. In that case, all 10 fingers are going to point forward toward the top of the mat. You'll lift the pelvis up and just shift your weight and to your right hand. So you might sort of shift the weight into the right hand, and you might start to straighten your right leg. Or excuse me, you don't straighten the right leg. That would be fantastic. Straighten your right arm. It's just something fun to play with. Excellent. And then you'll bring both feet back down onto the mat. Same good time. Opposite side. Move your knees over to the right and take your right upper arm down as low as it will go. And you can just stay here. Great, nice detoxifying twist. Otherwise, you might use both upper arms, or you might just use your right upper arm. All 10 fingers are pointing forward. You might just use your right upper arm and shift the weight. Again, if side crow is relatively easy for you and you're just using one arm, try to straighten the left arm. See if you can straighten the left arm over time. And if you start to straighten the left arm, take your gaze over your left shoulder. And if you fall down, that's great. We all fall down. Well, let's like a bird. We're side crow. We're crows. You know, you gotta fall a little bit before you fly, or as you fly. Beautiful. Bring your footsies back down onto the floor and just make your way back into plank position. And then lower all the way down onto your stomach. Come all the way down to the stomach. Reach your right arm out to a T position, or if there's a human being or a wall or something in the way, right arm can be in a cactus shape. So either right arm to a T or a cactus. Lift up onto your left fingertips. Roll into your right arm. Stack your left hip on top of the right hip. You can stay there. Step your left foot back behind you. So your left knee will bend potentially, and your left foot will step behind you. Otherwise, keep your legs stacked. Awesome. Keep the left fingertips pressing into the floor, or if you like, you might reach the left fingertips back toward the right fingertips. For some of you, might interlace the fingers. For some people, I personally like pressing my left fingertips in the floor better than reaching my left arm back or interlacing. So just see what feels best to you and your body. Make your way back to center, same thing, opposite side. Left arm reaches out to a T. Lift up onto the right fingertips, roll into the left arm. And then stay there. You might step the right foot back behind you. You might reach the right fingertips back toward the left fingertips, just whatever you did on the first side. Same good time is going to happen on the second side. Just taking your breath, your awareness into your left shoulder. So opening up that space. Make your way back to center. Wonderful. Bring your arms to your sides. You're going to interlace the fingers at the lower back. Squeeze your legs in toward one another. So now lift the chest up. Lift the thighs up away from the mat. Back of the neck is going to be long. Just keeping your breath again smooth and deep. Release all the way down. Either bring the right cheek to the mat and gently rock the hips from side to side. If you prefer coming into a forearm, like a nice, relaxing forearm plank, just an option. You can also come onto your forearms and just press the heels back, sides the waist, reaching forward. It's just however you like to relax. Obviously, I'm the only one doing a forearm plank, and that's okay. Heels press back, sides the waist and chest are going to reach forward. If you're in a forearm plank, bring your knees down, bring the pubic bone down, coming to Sphinx. Make your way back to center, no matter what you're doing. Arms and legs will be straight. Arms come to the side. Stay there, bend your knees, catch a hold of your ankles, hug your knees in toward one another. Lift your chest up, lift your thighs up. Keep the back of the neck long. Keep the knees hugging in. It's allowing your breath to be smooth, even though you're laying on your diaphragm, you're still breathing. Knees are hugging in, sides the waist. Just moving forward, and instead of cranking your neck to look forward, keep the back of your neck long. Look at that beautiful floor out in front of you. Release all the way down. Left cheek will come to the mat. Gently rock your hips from side to side, or if you're feeling like you still need a little more action, you can always make your way into a forearm plank. Heels press back, sides of the waist, and heart reach forward. Forearm plank, bring your knees down, bring the pubic bone down, press your heart forward. Last time, forehead comes back to center, arms and legs will be straight, or bend your knees, catch a hold of your ankles, hugging your knees in toward one another. If you want to come into a milder back bend, you can make your way into a Sphinx pose. You might just lift up onto your forearms. So Sphinx pose, arms and legs straight, or bend the knees, catch a hold of the ankles, hug the knees in, chest reaches forward. Release all the way down. Slide the fingertips in line with the chest, elbows hug in. Make your way into child's pose. Sink the sit bones back toward the heels, just pausing here, stretching your spine. Allow the sit bones to sink down, creating length through the spine, length through both sides of the waist, just opening up your back. Come back onto your hands and your knees. Make your way back into downward facing dog. Pelvis is going to lift up. bend your knees, take your gaze forward, and then you exhale, step or jump your way to the top of the mat. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Feet are going to be hip distance apart. Inhale, take your arms toward the ceiling. Allow the shoulders to relax away from the ears. And just go and straighten your legs. Bring your hands to prayer at the heart. Wonderful. Feet are going to stay hip distance apart. Shift the weight into your right foot. You're going to bend the left knee, catch a hold of the instep of your left foot, and hug your knees in toward one another. So you're just going to hold on to the inside of your left foot. Knees are going to hug in. And you might stay there. You might reach the right arm up toward the ceiling. You can also just keep your right hand to prayer at the heart. Stay there. Practice balancing. Or if you have your balance, you might start to press your left shin back and reach the right fingertips forward. So left shin may reach back, right fingertips may reach forward, keeping the heart and the chest reaching forward. And if you fall, great, just make your way right back up again. Pull your left knee in toward the nose, both arms reach overhead up toward the ceiling. Briefly come toward Warrior 3 pose. Take the left leg, reach it back, reach the arms forward. Briefly come to standing split. Hands come down, left leg reaches up. When you inhale, take your left leg up a little higher. Then exhale, bend both knees. Hover your left shin to the outside of the right foot. Inhale, take your left leg, reach it back up toward the ceiling. Exhale, both knees bend, hover. Again, inhale, left leg lifts back up. Step, exhale, sink your left knee all the way down to the outside of the right foot. It's coming toward a seated twist here. Take the right hand back behind you. Left arm is going to reach up toward the ceiling. Right hand comes back behind you. And then take the left arm, either wrap it around the right knee or take the left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Spine is going to lift up tall. I'm just going to rotate the torso and take your gaze over your right shoulder. So you're in this pose and you're like, I still want more arm balances. You can also take both hands over to the right side of the mat and you're going to lift the pelvis up away from the mat. Both hands will come to the right side of the mat, just like we did in side crow. And you can just use your left upper arm. You might use both upper arms. Reach your chest forward. You might start to lift the feet up away from the mat. You might start to extend through the legs. Otherwise, just keep your bum to the floor and have a nice detoxifying twist. Make your way back to center. Lean into your left hip. Swing the right leg around toward the back of the mat. Tuck your right toes under. Three-legged dog, take the left leg up toward the ceiling. Step your left foot forward between the hands and step the right foot forward to meet the left foot at the top of the mat. Inhale, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, forward fold, relax the head and the neck, keeping your feet hip distance. Inhale, arms reach toward the ceiling. Allow the shoulders to relax away from the ears. When you exhale, bring your hands to prayer at the heart. Shift your weight into your left foot. Bend the right knee and catch a hold of the instep of the right foot. Hug the knees in toward one another. Left hand can stay to the heart. Left arm may reach up toward the ceiling. Stay there or press your right shin back as you reach the left fingertips forward, coming toward dancer's pose. Otherwise, stay upright. Take that variation. Just keep both knees hugging in toward one another. Left arm is reaching up toward the ceiling. Curl the right knee in toward the chest. Reach both arms overhead. Briefly come toward Warrior 3. Right leg reaches back. Arms reach forward. Standing split. Hands come down. Take the right leg. Reach it up toward the ceiling. Inhale. Your right toes reach up a little bit higher. Then exhale. Bend both knees. Hover your right knee toward the outside of your left foot. Inhale. Right leg lifts back up. Exhale. Both knees bend. Hover. Again, inhale, take the right leg, reach it back up toward the ceiling. And exhale, sink your right knee all the way down to the outside of the left foot, bringing your bum down onto the mat. Right foot goes the outside of the left knee. And take the left hand back behind you, reach the right arm toward the ceiling. And take the right arm, wrap it around the left knee, or take the right elbow to the outside of the left knee. When you inhale, lift your spine up tall. And then exhale, torso rotates. Look over the left shoulder. Stay here. If you tried the arm balance, if you want to do that on the first side, do it on the straight. Might try it on the second side. That happens, both hands will go to the left side of your mat. You'll create chaturanga arms, and you'll either just use your left upper arm, you just use your right upper arm, or you'll use both upper arms as a ledge. Reaching the heart forward, you might start to lift the toes up away from the floor. Make your way back to center. Extend both legs out in front of you. Both legs are going to reach forward, scooch toward the top of the mat. And take your arms, reach them up toward the ceiling. Forward fold over your legs, taking your hands to your shins, the floor. You may catch a hold of the outsides of the feet. If you have a belt or a towel, you may take the belt or towel below the balls of the feet. Really press the heels, press the calf muscles, press your sit bones into the mat. And as you do that, lift up out of both sides of the waist, lift up from the sacrum, lift both sides of the waist and reach them forward. So both sides of the waist reach forward. Just allow your head and your neck to relax. And if your elbows start to bend, pull your upper arms and elbows away from one another, relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. Just taking your breath and your awareness to the backs of your legs. Reach your arms forward, one vertebrae at a time. Slowly come all the way down onto your back. Once you get all the way down onto the back, pull your knees in and just take your right ankle on top of the left knee, threading the needle here. Right ankle on top of the left knee. Pull your left thigh in toward your chest. Press your right shin forward. And allow your head and your neck to relax. If it's difficult to bring your head down to the mat, or if your chin is lifting up toward the ceiling, you might, if you have a nice cushy block, you might take a block behind your head, just so your chin is not jutting up toward the ceiling, so the back of your neck is long. Or if you have a pillow, a towel, a shirt, you can also use that as well. Let's keep the right knee pressing forward as you pull your left thigh in toward your chest. And Tony's doing a very good job demonstrating the cushy block underneath your head. Go ahead and change to the opposite side. Left ankle on top of the right knee. Pull the right thigh in toward your chest. Press your left shin forward. Just keeping your eyes soft. Keep the right thigh pulling in. Left knee is pressing forward. Just taking your breath, your awareness into your left hip. Allowing that space to open and relax. From there, extend both legs down the mat. Reach both arms overhead, back toward the wall behind you. Just creating as much length as you can from your fingertips all the way down to your tiptoes. And bring your arms to either side of the body. Palms are going to face up. Eyes are going to fall shut. Just scan your body from the crown of the head all the way down to your tiptoes. Do you see any area with any tension? Just going to breathe into that area and allow that tension to go. Start to deepen your breath. Just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Pull your knees into your chest. Let's roll to the right side of the body, coming into a fetal position. Just press your left hand into the floor, slowly come all the way up. Just bringing your hands to your thighs, coming into a simple cross-legged position. Hands will come to thighs, eyes are gonna fall shut. And just like we started the class, just reconnecting, just with your natural inhalations, natural exhalations, no manipulation of the breath. Allow your mind to be soft, just watching the cool air as it comes into the body through the nose. Just watching the warm air as it exits the body through the nose. And begin to open up your eyes. Bring your hands to prayer at the heart. Namaste. All right, thank you for joining us. Hope to see you all the next time. Thanks a lot.